I do think we have some depth. I do think that certain positions have a little bit more depth than other positions. I think when you think about starters, you think about different packages, especially on offense and defense. You think about your 11 personnel, your 12 personnel. I mean, we have different types of that, if that makes sense. So you're looking at different tight ends that could be in there, and different receivers that could be in there. If you're looking at defense, you're looking at nickel, big nickel, smaller nickel. You're looking at dime. You're looking at base defense. So, when you say starters and things like that, I don't know if we ever look at it that way. Certainly we have a starting quarterback, quite obviously, right? But, starting left tackle, we have, certain guys that are definitely, we have a starting defensive end, and we have other, starting inside linebackers. But there's other positions that become starters in certain packages, if that makes sense.
I have a follow-up, please. How good do you feel about what you just talked about in comparison to, say, your first 6 seasons?
Look, I think I'll be honest with you. I think it's a weird year. I think that, right now we would be getting ready for our 3rd preseason game. That would be about the timing. And so we're behind when it comes to that. We've got to, and it's not the player's fault. It's just the way it is. I mean, we've got to work to get to better shape. We've got to really try to do the best job we can of keeping our injuries down, soft tissue especially. So I think we're behind, probably just like a lot of other teams. So I think it's going to be the team that can keep the virus out. I think it's going to be the team that can be in the best shape, the team that can improve from week to week. That's what you're trying to do.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey, Bill.
Hey,
good morning.
Morning.
Bill, what did you think about the game day and travel protocols that they released to the teams yesterday? And what were some of your takeaways from that? And I have a follow-up.
The travel protocols that the NFL released, you mean?
Yeah, that and the game day protocols.
Oh, the game day, yeah. At first, I thought you said NBA travel protocols. I was like, I don't think they're traveling. They're in a bubble. But no, yeah, I mean, they're involved, Aaron. They're very involved. I really would have a hard time answering it right now because, Jack and I were going through them last night with our sub-program heads, and, we're going to have a meeting on Saturday about them. Everything from how many on the sideline to social distancing in the press box to, how should we do the food at the hotel to, only maybe 10 guys on a bus. I mean, it's just, and everything in between. So just like every other team is dealing with that too. But I think it's going to take a lot of hours to really sift through that and make sure we get it right.
And my follow-up is, you guys brought back Darren Phillips after he caught 7 touchdowns for you guys last year and also blocked really well. What did it mean to you to get him back, and what is it about him at his age that he's able to kind of sustain this high level and have this late career renaissance?
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy that, didn't even play college football. I mean, he was a basketball player, really a guy that is just a really mature, good person who cares about winning, cares about being a good teammate, and he really works hard to improve. We do a lot of things with the tight end, and he came into our system last year, and he really learns well. He was able to produce. Deshaun has a lot of confidence in him in the passing game. You're right. He's a technically proficient blocker on the edge, which is hard to, that's hard to find at that position. And so, I'm glad we were able to bring him back.
Mark Berman.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Hey, Mark, good.
I know that you have told us several times you have different wrap-up programs for different players. We haven't seen J.J. Watt out there for a few days. Can you tell us how he's doing? What's going on with him?
Yeah, he's doing fine. He's played a lot of football, and he knows how to play football. What's important for him and for us is, that he's in great condition and that he's ready to go on September 10th. So his ramp up is different than anyone else's. And I could say the same thing about, Will Fuller or Brandon Cooks. Everybody's ramp up is a little bit unique. I think in this year, and I know you guys are really, that's a real important part of your job is to see who's out there and all that. But I just wouldn't read too much into that moving forward. I really wouldn't.
Greg Bailey.
Bill, good morning. Just a quick two-parter about Justin Reid. What does it do for a football team when they know what type of physical pain that he's in last year playing with the labor of injury, and yet he's out there just every week? They're dragging him off, and yet he still comes back. And then the second part, he really seems to be very vocal as a leader. How much do you enjoy that aspect of his game and his evolution?
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough guy. I mean, you said it. I mean, to go out there and play that position with shoulder issues and come out of a game and then, have it worked on and then go back into the game in an NFL game. I mean, that just says a lot about Justin Reid. I mean, he's a very tough guy. He's very smart, very athletic. He played a lot of different positions for us over the years, played deep part of the field, down in the box. He's played nickel for us. He's been the personal protector on the punt team. I mean, he's just done a lot of things for us, and a lot of that is because of his own mental toughness and physical toughness. So, yeah, he's a really valuable part of our team.
Sean?
Hey, good morning, Bill.
Hey, morning. Who's this?
This is Sean.
Oh, sorry, Sean. I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
No worries. Hey, you made a mention the other day of the process of bringing guys in for workouts and how it's a 3 or 4 day thing. You got to COVID test them. It's very, very different. I'm curious if during this time of year, how that affects decision making with finding solutions on the roster. Are you more inclined to look at guys that are already here a little bit harder because it's a more cumbersome process? And when the regular season rolls around, I'm going to assume that it's not going to change. Does that make it more difficult during the regular season to find guys?
It's definitely challenging. It's definitely different. I think you've got to, with the roster that you have right now, I mean, this is basically your team. You're at an 80-man roster. So eventually you've got to get down to 53 plus 16 on the practice squad. So you've got, 69, 70-man roster at that point. And, so you're looking at your team right now. So when you look at your team, you say, okay, based on injuries maybe, or just based on maybe a lack of depth, all right, maybe we need to look at a few guys that are out on the street that we know are good football players, that we know are good guys, not pains in the asses, guys that are good guys that can come in and help us win. I think that's something that we talk about every week and we say, or every day, and we say, okay, if we're going to do it, we got to get the guy in now because he's got to test for 4 days or whatever, three negatives before he can even take a physical and work out or even meet with us or even come in the building. So it's different than it has been in the past, quite obviously, for obvious reasons. It's the same for every team, and that's the beauty of the NFL. Every team's working under the same rules, but it's definitely challenging.
Hey, Coach, you're able to. That's all right.
Sorry, Seth. I thought it was Sean again. Sorry.
No, it's because it starts with an S. It's 4 letters. We're good. You said that you've been able to spend some more time with the defense. Is that giving you a different perspective on the offense while you're doing that? And is it kind of refreshing in a way?
Yeah, I mean, I just I've always spent time with the defense, but I think I'm able to go into a meeting more, even a staff meeting, and just give them maybe a couple tidbits of offensive perspective. Hey, this is what they're trying to do on this protection. This is what they're trying to do with this route scheme when they see this coverage, or just understand that this is beating this coverage or trying to, or this protection is, if the linebacker moves 4 feet, then that might screw the protection up. I think sometimes defensive coaches don't understand that, offensively, when a defensive player moves from here to here, that can totally change the call, and so that's really like the perspective I try to give. And then obviously the biggest thing is the personnel. How are we using personnel? We have a lot of versatile guys like Roby and Lonnie Johnson and Eric Murray and Justin Reid and Zach Cunningham and J.J. Watt, quite obviously, and Charles Amenahu. So I always tell them, hey, this is a tough matchup for the offense when you put this guy here or that guy there. And that's really what I try to do. And I can do that a little bit more now.
Barry?
Bill, do you find yourself calling some of your other colleagues, the other 31 coaches around the league, and kicking ideas around because of this compressed situation that you're in with guys on the field?
I think we did that early on. Yeah, I would talk to certain coaches early on. The coaching fraternity in this league is awesome. I mean, they're just a bunch of great guys that are willing to help. But I think as you get closer to the games now, I don't know if they're helping you too much. So I think we early on we did consult, and guys would call me because us in Kansas City were the first ones, right? Because we have the earliest game. So people reached out to me, hey, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? But I think those phone calls are few and far between now once you get towards the beginning of the season.
Take two more. John.
Bill, when you watch Watson, what is he doing better right now than he was doing, say, at this time last year? And what would you like to see him do more of?
He's playing really well. I mean, he's playing at a really high level. He's got a real good grasp of our offense. He's got a real good grasp of the protections. He's throwing the ball accurately, on time, making good decisions in the passing game. I think we've thrown a ton of passes. I think he's only thrown one interception the whole camp. He's understanding the ball's coming out at a good, in a good rhythm, and he just works hard to get better every day. He takes it very seriously. His meetings, he's very focused. The walkthroughs, he's very focused, and he looks at each practice, like a game, and he tries to get better every day. So he's doing a great job.
Last one for Mark Berman.
Bill, can you talk about what makes Zach Cunningham so special, how critical he is to different packages on your defense?
Yeah, I mean, he's very athletic, very instinctive, really good tackler. He's made a couple plays like on, screen passes where he's fended off a blocker and been able to, push the ball carrier back inside to where his help's coming from. He can play zone coverage. He can play a man coverage. He's a good blitzer. We can use him in a lot of different areas. We can use him not just at inside backer. He just can do a lot of different things for us. He's a really, really good football player.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.